Video games come in all shapes and sizes, from short linear narratives to large expansive odysseys that practically go on forever. With the rise in popularity of live service games and rising costs of development, the latter of these games' lengths have become more prevalent in the industry during recent months. While one could always argue that the game's length has nothing to do with quality, there is an irrefutable charm to spending hundreds of hours in a game's world, soaking all there is and never reaching the point of exhaustion. To that effect, here are 10 games that never seem to end. Red Dead Redemption 2.
This is it, cowboys! One more time! One more time. Let's ride! Yeah!
Rockstar Games' latest entry in this tale about gun-toting outlaws features swaths of content set against the majestic backdrop of the Wild West. The map is expansive and filled to the brim with lively towns, dimly lit caves, treacherous mountains, muddy swamps, and so much more. Rockstar has filled this huge space with a ton of interesting details that will take players hundreds of hours to discover. That's all on top of all the collectibles, treasure hunts, side quests, robberies, and the lengthy redemption arc of the charismatic cowboy, that is, Arthur Morgan. Once you're done with that, you can also spend countless hours role-playing as a virtual outlaw in the game's live service multiplayer component, which features swaths of its own separate content and receives regular updates. Animal Crossing: New Horizons. The Animal Crossing games are meant to be played over dozens upon dozens of hours. It's not a grand adventure about banishing some evil figure into the unknown, rather it's all about existing in this virtual land and enjoying your time pursuing the many chores that the game has to offer. You can collect different kinds of fish and insects, interact with cutesy-looking animals, build your dream house, visit other people's islands, all of which reward you with bells that can be used to buy even more stuff of your liking. It's all about setting short-term goals for yourself and then working towards completing them. Thanks to continued content updates, Animal Crossing: New Horizons never has any shortage of content, and players can sink hundreds upon hundreds of hours into it without exhausting the experience. Destiny 2. Bungie has established itself as one of the industry's top talents when it comes to live service games, which can be largely attributed to the massive success of Destiny 2. Originally released all the way back in 2017, Destiny 2 features swaths of content, spanning multiple planets which can be completed in a fireteam of up to 3 players. On top of the premium strike missions, there are public raids, quests from NPCs, patrols, and dungeons that dole out rewards that are required to take up missions of even higher difficulties. With tight and responsive gunplay and seemingly endless content, it's hard for any fan of live service games to be bored of Destiny 2. Forza Horizon 5. Set against the gorgeous backdrop of Mexico, Playground Games' Forza Horizon 5 is a dream come true for fans of car culture. Players are let loose in this gargantuan virtual space that seamlessly combines dense jungles and volcanic mountains, with sun-draped beaches and lively towns, all of which are populated by oodles of racing contests. You can take part in different types of races, such as dirt racing, cross-country racing, or street racing. On top of all of that, there are also regular public events, barn finds, drifting challenges, stunt races, and a multitude of different types of events that all fill out this massive open world. The best part is that regardless of whatever activity you are pursuing, you will be adequately rewarded, which makes chipping away at this massive checklist of activities an absolute pleasure. Stardew Valley. Developed by Eric Barone, Stardew Valley is a game that's all about a peaceful life away from all the white noise of the city. You start with a small patch of land and a handful of tools that you will be using to grow up crops, which then nets you money to buy even more resources and make the process a lot more efficient and freeing you up to pursue other activities such as fishing, completing quests issued by NPCs, raising animals, and exploring the world. Stardew Valley has an excellent sense of progression, so it's no surprise that legions of fans continue to spend hours upon hours in this pixelated world. Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. While Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain might not hold a flame to oodles of content that many other games on this list feature, it more than makes up for it in terms of its reactive gameplay. That's not to say that it has any shortage of content, far from it. From clearing enemy camps to building entire zoos in the mother base, to developing new gear for operations, Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain has a ton of activities for players to dive into. But perhaps what's most interesting is the sheer freedom of choice it offers to players for achieving their goals, which ultimately makes it one hell of an experience that you just cannot put down. Don't Starve. Clay Entertainment's Don't Starve is a survival game that's all rendered in a beautiful cartoony art style. It's uncompromising with its survival mechanics and requires players to always remain 2 steps ahead of any possible threats in order to ensure their survival. It might not have much to offer in terms of its bespoke content, other than crafting and facing monsters, but the challenging core gameplay loop of trying to survive as long as possible is an enchanting prospect that never loses its charm. Subnautica. Much like Don't Starve before it, Subnautica earns its longevity not by the sheer breadth of its content, but by the depth of its mechanics. The survival game sees players deserted on an alien planet that's mostly covered with water. You have to constantly keep tabs on your oxygen, food, and water levels as you try to gather more resources to build up tools and vehicles that allow you to explore even more of this map. Subnautica features a gargantuan sea filled to the brim with interesting flora and fauna, all of which differ as you dive deeper and deeper into this seemingly never-ending game. Horizon Forbidden West. Guerrilla Games' latest Horizon Forbidden West has proven to be a worthy sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn, alleviating most major criticisms that players had with the 2017 original. Players reprise the role of series protagonist Aloy once again as she sets out on a perilous journey to the Forbidden West on a quest to save the human race from extinction. The gargantuan map is filled with a ton of interesting activities like scaling tall necks, scouting and harvesting the many different kinds of machines for resources, completing the many compelling side quests, or even taking part in melee pit challenges. Seeing all that Horizon Forbidden West has to offer is a lengthy ordeal, but it's one that's worth taking. No Man's Sky. Hello Games' No Man's Sky might not have the smoothest of launches, but with a handful of meaty content updates, the game has come comfortably close to its original vision of delivering a grand space odyssey. Assuming the role of an explorer, players travel across the entirety of the galaxy on a quest to find the very center of the universe. Additionally, you can also engage in activities such as base building, mining resources, and of course, exploring the thousands upon thousands of procedurally generated planets. While all planets might not be as functionally distinct as the pre-release hype suggested, No Man's Sky is still a solid experience that should keep interested fans engaged for the long term. And with that, we reached the end of the video. Have anything to say? Let us know in the comments below. Also, we upload new videos every single day on Gaming Bolt, so please consider subscribing as it really helps us out. Thanks for watching.